working with. If you've got other priorities, perhaps there are other companies to work with. So what's in ServerSafe? I'm just going to pivot out to our website for a moment, if you'll bear with me. So on our website, you'll see 3 tabs across the top, and these will give you the 3 lines of business that you can be in with SOS. You can sell to home users, you can sell to small businesses. Remember, when I say home, I really mean home and micro business. So you can sell to small businesses. This is kind of a 5 to 200 employee type of business, and you can sell to ServerSafe. SOS ServerSafe is a brand new technology platform which covers bare metal backup for transaction consistent bare metal image creation, and with our image stream module to get that to the cloud. Endpoint backup for laptops and workstations, so you can back up, all of the workstations and regular computers in the business environment, not just servers. Exchange SQL SharePoint backup, as well as Exchange granular recovery. You can do full database recovery. You can do mailbox level recovery. You can even go all the way down to the message and do message level recovery. It's all glued together by Pulse, so it lets you keep your finger on the proverbial pulse of your backups, and it's backed up by SOS's global network of redundant military-grade data centers. And so this is the totality of the SOS ServerSafe solution. I draw your attention to the resellers tab of the website. There's a wealth of information there in those sections. But for now, I'm just going to click on the features of SOS ServerSafe, and just sort of to give you the highlights. And this helps you sort of see the difference between the SOS for Business product and SOS ServerSafe. So bare metal backup and recovery, Exchange backup and granular recovery, covering every Exchange major platform, and full database, mailbox, or even message level recovery. Windows Server backup and recovery for regular standard server environments, as well as SBS. SharePoint, centralized management control, military-grade security with our SOS UltraSafe encryption stack. Total protection coverage, talking about SOS Forever Save, which is our archiving system. A dirty little secret in the online backup industry is this concept that archiving is not backup and backup is not archiving. And while semantically correct, it really leaves users out in the cold if you take the approach that, say, Mozy, Carbonite, and the others, really every other major vendor takes. I'll take a moment just to talk about this because I think it's poorly understood. If you're backing up computer A and you're changing a file every single day, what everybody else will do is they'll keep 30 versions of that file in the cloud, so you can roll back a maximum of 30 days. Firstly, SOS will keep every single version of that file. So if you're backing up that file for 5 years, we're going to have 5 times 365, which is beyond my ability to do in my head math, but roughly 1,500 versions. Secondly, if that computer goes offline or you delete that file, perhaps by accident, or God forbid your wife deletes the file, what every other backup vendor will then do is they'll delete that from the cloud space because they then say that that's no longer an active backup copy. That's now an archive, because if the primary file's gone, then it doesn't need to be backed up anymore. Well, that's utter rubbish. And the reason is that more than 60% of user recoveries that occur in our system are from accidental data loss, right? User error, deletion. So if you've got a backup solution that 60% of the time can't help you because 60% of the time it came from user error, it's not much of a backup system. What do? We automatically archive that file and put it into archival space for you, and we do that for free. We also give you all of those versions for free. So when you drive my personal SOS account, I can roll back my data environment all the way to 2008, October 2, 2008, when I started that account, or I had a different account. And I can see every computer I've had in that period of time and every version of every file. And what's even more awesome is that I can do that on my iPhone from the golf course. And I'm not aware of any other technology that allows me as a business owner to see all of my computers, not just now, but to see them at any point in time from anywhere in the world, period. I'm not aware of any solution from EMC or from Microsoft or from Oracle or from any of the large enterprise software companies that allow you to do that. It's truly breakthrough technology. And it sort of gets buried in the long list of features that we have, but it truly is breakthrough technology. So that's a combination of our unlimited versioning engine and SOS Forever Save for automatic and free archiving. Mobility, I kind of just pitched you that with my golf course story. I don't actually play golf. But actually the story really comes from a real-life partner who on a Sunday got a call from a client who desperately needed a PowerPoint file that he created 4 years ago. And the partner from the putting green pulled out his iPhone, searched for the file, found the file and emailed it to the customer without ever leaving the green. And that's one of my all-time favorite stories at this company. Unlimited seats per account. That's one more thing. We don't charge you per seat for our regular backup technology. With ServerSave, we do have to charge you per seat. But like I said, the cost gets as low as $35 per server per month for you. A few questions coming in here. And please do keep the questions coming. It's far more interesting when it's interactive than just hearing me drone on. So Reese says, I'm an internet provider. I'm looking for a way to bundle internet and backup. Looking forward to seeing options. So Reese, classic case. You know, we've got some large global internet service providers who do exactly that, and lots of regional and smaller ISPs. So this is a perfect add-on sale for you. It's super sticky. It's the sort of thing that can help you with your retention. If you're an ISP, I imagine churn's an issue for you. So, you know, that conversation I was having earlier with David about using backup as a loss leader or to help propel stickiness in your other product channels, I think is particularly sort of sanguine for you. So do talk to your partner specialist about sort of other ISPs and how they've used this product to help retain customers. David says, is this technology available on the fly, i.e. drop the file on Dropbox and all of my devices see the file and one person can access it as it, edit it, and save it to the remote folder? So David, that's sync and collaboration, which is actually a different space. Dropbox pretends to be a backup solution, and it isn't one. Try recovering an environment from Dropbox, and you'll understand what I mean by that. So no, the AirSwiss backup technology doesn't do exactly what you just said, but in December we're going to have a pretty major product announcement that you should stay tuned for, which I think is going to, I know it's going to address exactly the scenario you're describing right there. Neil says, I'm interested in a comparative analysis with Arcay backup, which I currently host and sell. Well, Neil, firstly with Arcay, they make you host it yourselves, right? So that you may view that as a strength or you may view it as a weakness. We view it as a weakness. We can do this much better than you can, due respect to you and your capabilities. But we've got power of infrastructure that it's very difficult for other people to match. And so what that translates into you is better uptime, much better security, much better redundancy, and fundamentally a way, way, way lower cost, right? So, for example, we're now selling gigabytes of managed online backup on our global data centers for $1.20 per year with volume commitments. I doubt that. I would suspect that your cost is higher than that. Again, I'm speaking from my experience with many Arcay partners who have come across to us because A, they don't want the burden of running their own data centers, and B, they think we can do a much better job. The other thing I'd say about Arcay is that the software is not particularly easy to use. So I think if you're selling that into the micro business space, you might have some challenges. But I'd love your feedback on that. How's it been going with that product? Anthony says, how long does it take to back up a 10 gig file with an 8 megabit up? Well, it's going to do a megabyte a second, roughly, Anthony. So it's going to take 10,000 seconds, which is, I don't know, what is that? That's 3 hours. 3,600 seconds in an hour. So roughly 3 hours.
As long as it's on a 2,000 box that can barely open up a browser, or the local processing that goes behind it.
Oh, sorry, I was talking about backup to the cloud of a 10 gig file.
Well, there's local encryption and compression on every file that goes out. So part of the 3-tiered encryption process, so you can't judge strictly on bandwidth.
Very good call. So the point there is we compress that 10 gig file, Anthony, so it's not going to be 10 gigs when we ship it. But we also then encrypt it, which increases the size, and doing that compression and encryption takes time, but it all basically nets out. You can pretty much just use, for rough back-of-the-envelope math, you can kind of take the raw size prior to processing and then the transfer speed and calculate those two. So a few hours. Let's say 3 hours plus or minus 2. Because of course, if that 10 gig file, if that's an Exchange database, right, or if that's any kind of database with a lot of clear text in it, we're going to compress it down to like half a gig or a gig. So it could be super fast. It really does depend on the type of the data. Okay. Flipping through these questions. Red says, I noticed beside Windows Server backup and recovery, you don't have SBS 2K11 listed. Would that be supported as well? Red, it is going to be supported. We just haven't finished our QA pass on it. But yes, the answer is it is supported. Anthony says, if a user opts out of the service for a few months, how long is their data stored? Typical retention period is 90 days. So we purge 90 days after they cancel their account. David has left us, but he wanted to know if the webinar was going to be available offline. You'll get an email sent to you all with a video. So yes, absolutely. Paul has 2 questions. Do you offer backup seating? Yes. What about overnight shipping for all restores? Yes. Lastly, can we set bandwidth throttling, MF, and open it up Saturday and Sunday? No. You can only set a global throttle rule. So you can't change the periodicity of throttling. David, Ameriprise Financial franchisees can only choose Evergreen's backup service right now due to their requirements that the end user not be able to delete anything that was backed up. Is there any settings I could set that would limit the end user from deleting any backup? Yes, but it's not really a setting. It's more how you deploy accounts. So you can deploy accounts in a way that end users can't access or delete the data. David asked, do you also allow/make local copies, or is this only cloud backup? David, it's both. It's a 2-tiered backup strategy. We're going to back up your servers to a local staging environment, and then we're going to feed that up to our cloud. So you've got local backups for really quick RTO and RPO, and then you've got cloud backup for ultimate data safety. John says, as a retail IT service, small business, how can we dispense SOS cloud services to our individual clients in a way that will save them money and increase our bottom line? Well, John, you do just that. You distribute SOS technology to your business clients, and that's going to help them save money and increase your bottom line. You just said in a sentence exactly what we're all about here at SOS. So, again, we deliver you a backup business in a box. So let me go to actually that reseller section of our website. Just so drawing all your attention to the retail section of the website, here under our 360-degree solution. What do you get from SOS? So you get our global infrastructure. That's particularly pertinent to, I think it was Rich who asked us about RSA. So